Hello everyone and welcome to lesson 6 from chapter 2, sales tax, tips, and markup. What we mean by sales tax is a tax, un impuesto, that something would have, right? So let's say you pay $30 for something and then at the end you actually end up paying $32. It means it has a tax of $2. We usually measure this by percent. Tips, in Spanish we call it a propina, and it's something that you get for the service. And a markup is something when the price has gone up. How much did it go up by? So really what we're looking for is the percentage of change, the same way we did in the prior lesson. Let's look at a real world link. All right, let me zoom in. Alonso plans to buy a new kayak that costs $2,100 or $2,100. But when he buys the kayak, it actually costs more because he lives in a country where there is a 7% sales tax. So we have to find what 7% of 2,100 is so that we know how much more he paid, right? We add the 7% of this to this amount. You can find the amount of tax on an item by multiplying the price by the tax percentage. So circle the amount below that shows the amount of tax Alonso will pay for the kayak. What we want to do first is we want to take our 7% that you see right here and we want to convert it to a decimal, okay? So we divide it by 100 in order to take away the percent. So as we divide it, it's going to move the decimal 2 places over, so now we have 0.07, right? And we're going to multiply it by our amount, 2,100, and that's going to give you how much 7% is of this amount. Add it to this amount, okay, and that'll be your grand total. After doing so, I think you'll notice that your answer is 147. So your tax for 7% will be $147. So go ahead and circle this one right there. Okay? Question 2. Use the amount of tax from exercise 1 to fill in the receipt at the right. Then find the total cost Alonso will pay for the kayak. Now the receipt is el recibo, right? The receipt. So here we have Jimmy's kayak. The kayak, we already know, costs $2,100, right? The sales tax is going to be $147, and our total amount will be $2,247. As you recall, we took the 7%, turned it into a decimal, and multiplied it by 2,100 to give us the amount, correct? The amount of the tax. But, boys and girls, here's a hint. If you don't want to just get this amount, but you want to get the total amount, okay, what we need to do is add this to the equation. So what we need to do here is we need to replace this 0 with a 1 so that it includes this amount plus the 7%. So we've changed it. We put a 0 there so that because when we multiply 1 times this amount, it's going to include this amount. Times 0.7, which is the 7%, is going to give us our 147 that you see right there. So it goes right to this amount without having to add it in later. Okay, as you see there. So multiply 1.07 times 2,100. How does the result compare to your answer in exercise 2? Well, they're the same. They both give you $2,247, except this one we had to take one extra step and add it in. But if we put in the 1, it includes this amount, so they are the same. Go ahead and write that down. Please include a key answer right there as a star, okay? Question number 4. Now Alonso's going on his kayaking trip. On Alonso's kayaking trip, hiring a guide, a person that takes you through the rapids, through the river, costs $50. Alonso wants to give the guide a 10% tip, so 10% of 50. Many of you guys already know that that's okay, 10% of 50 is 5, so that's $5. Explain how to find the amount. Now here's 2 ways to find it. You can simply find the tip by multiplying 10% as 0.1, right? You change it to a decimal, times 50, and that's going to give you your $5 tip, right? Your $5. Or you can include 1.1 where you have this 1 right here, it's right here, but you're including the 1 because you want to multiply 1 times 50 to include the 50, and that will give you the total amount. So 1.1 times 50 is going to give you your total amount, your $50 plus your $5 tip. So I'll explain how to find the answer. We multiply 10%, 0.1, by 50. That'll give us our $5. But you can also do it this way if you want the total amount. Okay, can you please include this right here as well on the second line as the total, so you have both answers? On the next page, page 152, I'd like to get familiar with some vocabulary. Sales tax. A sales tax is an additional amount of money charged on items that people buy. The total cost of an item is the regular price plus the sales tax, as we just did with the kayak, 7%. So every time you buy something, there's a sales tax. In Venezuela, the sales tax is already included in the price, but in Canada, for example, it's not. In Canada, we have 15% sales tax. Okay, actually, it's been reduced to a 13% sales tax. So everything you buy, you should multiply by this amount so that you know how much more you have to pay, right? Or you can multiply by 1.13, and that'll give you your total amount. The other two words I want to become familiar with are tip or gratuity and markup, or from the selling price. Okay, a tip or gratuity is a small amount of money in return for a service. The total price is the regular price of the service plus the tip. The propina, as we say in Venezuela. For a good service, you usually tend to give a tip, a little extra money. A store sells items for more than it pays for those items. The amount of increase is called a markup. Markup is how much did it go up by. They marked up the price. The selling price is the amount the customer pays for an item. Got it? Girls, if you feel like I'm going a little too fast, remember you can always pause, rewind, and re-listen. Now, let's do the question A on page 152. Okay, ready? What is the total cost of a sweatshirt if the regular price is $42 and the sales tax is 5.5%? 5.5%. Okay, we have 5.5%, right? 5.5%. Let's change that over to a decimal so it goes over 2 times. It goes 0.055, right? Times 42. That's going to give you your sales tax. The sales tax. But they want the total cost of the sweatshirt. So this is not going to be enough. We have to change it to 1055 because this 1 is going to include this 42, and the 0.55 will give us the tax. And so we take that and we multiply it by 42. Okay, so go ahead and work that out. This is the point where you should pause and try to compute this on your own, either with a pen or pencil and paper, or with your calculator. But please pause the video. Okay, now that you've unpaused the video, it should be $44.31 when you multiply. So the tax is $2.31. $2.31. Got it? But they want the total amount. Don't forget, total cost, which is right there. Okay, on page 153, we have 2 questions at the bottom of the page, B and C. Okay, so let's go ahead and work these out. I'll zoom in so we can read it better. All right, Scott wants to tip his taxi cab driver 20%. If his commute costs $15, what is the total amount? So we're looking for 20% of $15, but we want the total cost. So we have to include the $15 plus 20%, right? In order to do that, don't forget we have to multiply the 15 by 1 times 0.2, which is our 20%. So that's this, and the 15 is going to be that. And together they'll give us our amount. So times 15, right? Equals, I'm sure a lot of you can do this in your head. What you have to figure out is what 1/5, remember 20% is 1/5. What's 1/5 of 15? $3, right? 1/5 is $3. And then this 1 is going to give you the entire 15, so it's 15 plus $3. And your total cost is 18. Okay? This is a good skill to learn to do. It's a real life situation that actually happens. Okay, question C. Find the total cost. Again, boys and girls, we're looking for the total cost, so we must include the amount. We have to multiply it by 1 plus this, okay, plus the percent. Find the total cost of a spa treatment of $42, including 6% tax and 20% tip. Okay, we have 6% tax and a 20% tip. Let's just go ahead and add those two together. So now we have 26%, right, from the original number, don't we? So 26% becomes 0.26 times 42. But I made a little mistake, didn't I? I need to include the 42 because I want the total amount. So I have to include the 1. 1 times 42 is 42 times 26% is going to give me my total amount. Go ahead and punch this into your calculator so you can work it out with your pencil. Pause the video. Please pause now. Okay, let's check our answer, and our answer is $52.92. Right? Okay, now we're on page 154, question D. Let's take a look at it. A store pays $150 for a portable basketball backboard and the markup is 40%. What is the selling price? So what is it going for now? There is definitely a big markup of 40%. They don't only want us to find the markup, they want us to find the selling price, the new selling price. It was $150. It was $150 times, we have to multiply it 1 times 1, okay, because we have to include the 150, don't forget. And the 40%, when we change it to a decimal, it becomes 4 in the 10th place. Okay, and that's going to give us our total amount. Go ahead and multiply that now, please. Pause the video. Okay, I think many of you got the answer already, and it's $210. So $210. Okay, therefore, the markup of the markup created the new selling price of $210. Okay, as we always do, you can go ahead now and work on the independent practice. These are questions that are quite basic and you should be able to do on your own after watching the video. Remember, you can always go back to example 1 and 2 to remind yourself how to do this. Go ahead and do the whole page. Leave the guided practice for class so that we can do that together as a warm-up, and then you know that from there we typically work on the extra practice as well. Okay, see you in class, everyone.